You're listening to the Super League Pod, coming up on your favourite Rugby League podcast. We've got all your feedback and shout-outs, news from around the world of Rugby League. We'll be looking back at a thrilling weekend's action in the Super League, as well as previewing the upcoming round of Challenge Cup quarter-finals. All that and more on the Super League Pod. Okay, so hello everyone out there listening to the Super League Pod. As always, I'm Tom and I'm joined by Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hello, everyone.
It's a bit of a sombre start because obviously the news that rocked the world of rugby league this week was that of the tragic passing of young Ronan Costello, and I think we thought that it would be right to address that and talk about that first off as part of the podcast, and then roll into the podcast properly. Wouldn't you say, Mark?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's hard to get through all the other stuff when this is the most important story I feel that's happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll do this piece of news first, and then we'll try our best to get back to the to having a little bit of fun and move things forward, which I'm sure the lad would have wanted. But we'll start with Huddersfield Giants then, and the Huddersfield Giants academy player Ronan Costello has died very sadly at the age of 17 after being injured during a game against Salford. Costello was airlifted to Leeds General Infirmary after the incident during an under-19s match. The Huddersfield Examiner reported it was believed that the young player sustained a serious head or neck injury during an unremarkable challenge. A statement was issued by the Costello family on the club's official website, and it said, "We are absolutely devastated to lose Ronan so tragically and suddenly. Ronan was a loving and caring 17-year-old lad who was dedicated to his family and friends. He was a credit to all of his family, and we are so very proud of him and his achievements. He was passionate about rugby, and rugby was a big part of his life. We acknowledge that this was a tragic accident. As a family, we wish to extend our appreciation to Leeds General Infirmary's Neuro Intensive Care Unit for their dedication, respect and efforts in caring for Ronan, and to the Giants, especially Andy and Richard, who have been a great support to us all during such a difficult time. We would like to thank everyone who has supported us, but we now need some privacy and time to grieve. We are all truly heartbroken, and Ronan will be missed and forever in our hearts." So a very sad tribute being paid to that young man. The family of Ronan Costello also thanked Rugby League fans for the compassion and generosity shown since the 17-year-old Huddersfield Giants academy player tragically passed away this Tuesday. Ronan's family have said that they appreciate well-wishers' concerns in offering financial assistance through the newly formed Just Giving site, but have requested that all donations in support of Ronan be made via the Danny Jones Defibrillator Fund. The family wish for all fundraising efforts to be coordinated through the RFL Benevolent Fund, and there is no immediate need for financial support as a result of Ronan's passing. Okay, so there's not a tremendous amount more to be said. Let's
yeah, it's very sad news, and obviously our thoughts are with his family and his loved ones and everyone who was involved in the game, obviously, as well, between Huddersfield and Salford when this tragic accident happened.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Okay, Mark, the show must go on, as I'm sure everyone agrees. Let's talk feedback and shout-outs, but before that, let's talk about our weeks. You've been away gallivanting north of the border this week, sir, which seems infinitely more exciting than anything I've had on my agenda. How's your week been?
Yeah, I've been busy. I've probably watched as little rugby league as I've watched all year in any given weekend. And that probably includes the weekends before the season started. I was up at Edinburgh seeing a friend whose birthday it is this coming week. So me and Emma took the opportunity to go down and see him and stay at his place. We'll go up and see him and stay at his place in Edinburgh and explore the city a bit. It's not a city I've ever been to as a tourist.
Okay.
I've only ever been to it either to watch rugby league events or to go to work, which would involve getting off the train at Haymarket, getting in a taxi, going to a boring sort of a commercial estate on the edge of the city.
Right.
then back to the train station, and that was my time in Edinburgh.
Wow. Never been on a stag do to Edinburgh?
No.
They're insane. I've been on 2 stag do's to Edinburgh, and they've both been fantastic. I'm sure your experience of the city is slightly more cultured than the one I had, though.
We met our friend Matt's new girlfriend as well, so that was a pleasure, and it made it a little bit different. It wasn't like a drinking lads weekend, although drinks were had, but at a steady, sensible pace.
What was the crack on Facebook with the... I've learnt the history of every biscuit in Edinburgh or something. I was scrolling through today and thought I'd make a mental note to ask you.
Just the aforementioned girlfriend of friend has a massive sweet tooth, and so talked a lot about cakes. And
I thought you might have been on some kind of tour.
Very enthusiastic about every bakery that we walked past and what different things they specialised in.
She sounds like my type of girl. I like her style. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, I've had a fairly quiet week by comparison. No cake adventures up to glamorous capital cities, but it was Father's Day at the weekend, and obviously,
of course, yeah.
Erin was around, so we had a terrific time.
Do anything special?
We went to. Well, she's starting in reception in September, and it was her new primary school's summer fair over the weekend. Of course,
I saw her on a horse.
So we went, no, donkey. Can't call it a horse. The horse, difference. Well. Should we nip next door, wake her up and find out, because I got a severe telling off. So yeah, we went to the summer fair, and then yesterday, Sunday, we drove over to West Yorkshire, and so close. I was going to go and watch the Bulls, I really was, but Erin was just a bit too tired, and we saw my grandma and granddad, and that made Erin's day, because Erin's great grandma, my grandma, and her get on like a house on fire. They're just the best of mates, so that was terrific and lovely to see as well. So quite family-based weekend for me,
rather than getting wet at Oddsall.
Absolutely, although I'm led to believe that there were quite a few people getting wet at Oddsall in my absence.
Good stuff.
Yes, absolutely. So that was it. Right, feedback and shout-outs. Mark, who's been getting in touch with us this week?
Right, we'll start with Wally Frogmore. Not a lot of people this week, actually, Tom. I'm not sure. I think, and also it was our lowest listened to show of the year so far.
Right.
I think the Euros probably had quite a bit to do with it.
Yeah.
People with less free time because they're using it watching football, I'm guessing, and that sort of thing. There's been a bit of a low number of shout-outs and feedback, but we still got plenty of match reviews, so we'll get to those later on.
Yes.
That's great. But yeah, Wally Frogmore, he said it might not have been a wrong prediction of Eden being the next Billy Slater. It could have been the Rugby League World Cup of 2008 Slater. So obviously, I remember more. I remember more for like him kicking balls that he shouldn't have gone for his feet with than just being crap.
Yeah.
If I remember that.
I still think that the Rugby League World Cup 2008 Billy Slater is certainly if nothing else, on a par with what you get from Greg Eden
on his days. Best day.
On his best day ever, yeah. But this is to do with the news that Greg Eden was coming back to Castleford, which we reported last week, wasn't it?
Yep, David Brown at DonsFan12, he got in touch, he said, where next for Sheffield Eagles, you ask? Championship 1, of course. # see you there.
Yeah.
How much is the rivalry between Sheffield and Doncaster a factor?
I think that, they are very close, aren't they, geographically?
Yeah, they shared a ground for a number of fixtures last year, but you never heard of any sort of angst in that. I never did, at least.
No, maybe it's one of those things that it operates more in one direction. Maybe like Dons fans feel the rivalry more than Sheffield fans, for example.
Kind of how like City fans felt it more towards United fans during, most of the time ever, because United were more worried about Liverpool.
Yeah, precisely. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe the fact that Sheff Huddersfield and all that happened, maybe that diluted it somewhat from a Sheffield point of view.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I sincerely don't. I don't want to wish relegation on anybody, but that would be good.
Maybe it's like how Hunslet hate Leeds, but Leeds just use Hunslet for their own means when necessary.
Yeah. Like the little sea creatures that pick effluvii off a shark as it swims along. They know it's there, but probably not that bothered. Okay, Lee Whitnell, what did he have to say?
He said, love Mark's Hep Cahill inverted commas compliment this week. Workhorse glue, # knackers yard. Yeah, that was inadvertent and totally not intended, because Hep Cahill is, I'd say he should be in the conversation definitely for our sort of unsung hero sort of player of the year this year.
Yeah.
In that sort of conversation. What's the award called that we give out for that? Most underrated.
Most underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. But no, I would tend to agree. Although, to be fair, based on what we're going to be talking about later on, I think there might be a few Widnes players earning themselves a trip to the Knackers Yard this week. Mark.
Hep Cahill, not one of them though. Actually, even though he did have maybe he looked like he was going to have to go off injured early in the game. He turned around pretty epic numbers as ever.
Yeah, no, I think
we'll get to those later.
Another slightly more hirsute member of the Southern Hemisphere population, I would guess. And Paul O'Brien, what did he have to say?
Oh, he got in touch to let us know he's taking part in this year's Great North Run as part of the 10-year treble raising money for Rugby League Cares. The 10-year treble is Matt King, the disabled chap who married his nurse. I forget. That's Matt King, isn't it? I don't know why it slipped out of my mind.
I always get confused.
Random facts.
Here's why I get confused when we talk about it, because I always think of the ex-Warrington and Souths player.
Yeah.
When you say Matt King, that's where my mind immediately goes to.
But they have the same.
Homeboy marry his nurse. That's insane.
I believe so.
What a man.
But the lawyer and former rugby league player who sadly was paralysed in an unfortunate accident in a London Broncos Academy game, wasn't it?
That's correct.
Some years ago.
Yeah.
He's doing this, I think, as part of giving something back, really.
Brilliant.
So I think he's part of the organisation of this group.
Yes.
And if you want to sponsor Paul or the whole group, really, I've been on already and done that. You go to justgiving.com/10-year treble. And you'll find it there.
Fantastic.
Unfortunately, because Paul's account is locked on Twitter, we couldn't just retweet out his tweets to us about it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Don't know what you're trying to hide, Paul, but there you go. It's come back to bite you.
There's all those people will be chasing him up from his refereeing days.
Do you reckon there's like skeletons in his closet and grudges being held from 14, 15 years ago?
And people who've bribed him, obviously that. But yeah, get involved and get behind it. And like I say, it's on Just Giving, and it's 10-year treble if you search on them and donate generously.
Superb. Right, well, that's your feedback and shout-outs taken care of. Let's take a look now at news from around the world of rugby league. Okay, so to news from elsewhere in the world of rugby league then. Huddersfield Giants have sacked coach Paul Anderson and assistant coach Kieran Purtill with the club's second from bottom of Super League. Anderson, who's 44, took over from Nathan Brown in 2012 and led the side to the League Leaders Shield in 2013, as well as third place finishes in 2014 and 2015. It's with great sadness that we make this change, said Chairman Ken Davey. We are not a hiring and firing club by nature. Unfortunately, the simple fact is that the results this year have not been satisfactory. The Giants are not performing to the level that everyone associated with the club expects. We have done everything possible behind the scenes to support the team and the staff in their quest for success. The Giants have lost 14 of their 18 Super League games this season and do look set to enter the qualifiers when the league splits after 23 matches. Head of Youth Andy Kelly has been put in temporary charge. We got a couple of tweets in on this one. Tingy Radio, he got in touch and said Anderson for Saints then, seems like strange timing. And Brian Davies, he said, wonder if the Giants' decision to sack Anderson now is to get the new coach effect for the Challenge Cup match. What did you make of this one, Mark?
Strange timing. I mean, it seemed to have a positive effect because they won, obviously, at the weekend, narrowly. But strange timing because I don't really know what more someone else coming in now will do, but it suggests to me that they've been looking at it properly and figured out that Anderson and Purtill were the problem rather than it being something else. And if you discover that that's the fact and you're going to have a battle on your hands in the qualifiers this time around, then you've got to make a move, I suppose. I'm surprised it didn't come earlier, if I'm honest.
I think part of the reason for me it didn't come earlier was because there was never really, with Leeds and Huddersfield, there was never really that sort of, about a third of the way into what we've had so far, that glimmer that they might suddenly jump out of it and go on a run. So they've always just kind of been down there, and maybe they've just sort of decided to keep their powder dry a touch. And
they had those 2 wins in a row,
decisions.
They had those 2 wins in a row, and then a home loss to Wakefield in a game, and then he comes out and starts blaming things on a very narrow offside decision and things like that. You start to think, has this guy kind of got to the end of his point of managing these things properly?
I think so. And these things are cyclical, and I think if Paul Anderson was going to get Huddersfield over the line, then their best opportunity was 2013, and unfortunately for the club that didn't happen, and it's kind of just been, maybe a bit of a millstone around his neck.